So today we're going to talk about adversity. Every one of us, if you live long enough, like my grandmama used to say, if you live long enough, you're going to have some adversity, you have some loss. You're going to have some things that happen to you in life that you did not expect or did not want. Now, the question is how do we bounce back from adversity and how do we use adversity to our advantage? Do you know that you can use adversity in your relationships to catapult you to another relationship, the one of your dreams, because the one that you broke up from, you thought was the one of your dreams, but I'm going to tell you how I did it. I'm going to tell you what happened to me. All right? But we're going to get started here now. So let me tell y'all about, I'm going to tell you about two stories today. Two stories of adversity that happened in my life, and I turned them around and used them to my advantage. I'm going to show you how to use everything that has happened to you in your relationships to your advantage. Now, you may have thought that he hurt you or she hurt you and that there was nothing good that came out of it. Au contraire, there is something good that comes out of every situation. And even in COVID, y'all, let me explain it to you. In COVID, there are people dying. There are people there. It's bad. We're stuck in our houses. Businesses have come to a halt. We're just now getting restarted. But in COVID, in every adverse situation, there is an equal and opposite advantage, equal and opposite blessing to it. So now I just want to take it from a business standpoint. Businesses have shut down, a lot of them, but there are businesses that are thriving even more so because of COVID. Zoom is one of them. I use Zoom every day, thriving. Can I tell you some unknown companies that are thriving, some things you don't think about? Do you know printer cartridge companies are thriving? Printer cartridge, no cartridges on the shelf, thriving. Let me tell you who else. Exercise equipment, thriving. You can't get a dumbbell an hour from where I live. A dumbbell. Now you can get dumbbells all day. You can't get a dumbbell. So what I'm saying is there's an equal and opposite benefit from every situation. Now, so let's talk about this. Before I go into the lesson of showing you how you can use your adversity to your advantage, let me share something with y'all. In 2006, some of you know that I was on the NBC reality show, The Biggest Loser. Some of you don't know, some of you do know. I was on the show, The Biggest Loser. Y'all, I was traveling around the country speaking, doing what I do best. Influence people, coaching people. I was doing what I do best. And I'm gonna be honest with you though, because I used to think that if you have enough money, money would solve all of your problems. So I was on this quest just to get money, at the expense of my health. So I had gotten up over 400 pounds, and I knew y'all that I had to change. I knew that I had to change because insanity is doing the exact same thing and expecting different results. And so I applied to the show The Biggest Loser because I said, if you want something different, you got to do something different. If you want change, y'all, you have to make three kinds of change. Number one, you have to make urgent change. Okay, you have to take three kinds of action. Three kinds of action. Number one, you have to take urgent action. You got to take action now. You got to do it now. Then you have to take massive action. That means you got to take a lot of action. So, and then the last thing is you have to take imperfect action. What we always do is think it has to be perfect. So I decided to apply for The Biggest Loser. Long story short, y'all, I got accepted. I used my gifts. Your gifts will make room for you. I don't care what you are. You all have gifts. My gift is I know how to influence people. I'm good at it. So I got in front of the producers and I came up with a hook. And the hook was, hey man, you need me on your show. Here I am, the motivational speaker who can't motivate myself. When they heard that, they said, wow, that's fantastic. Long story short, I got on the show. But when I got on the show, here's the adversity part. So when I got on the show, y'all, people don't know this. When we got there, that was the year, season 3. That was the year that they had a different concept every year. So when they asked me to come out to LA, they said in the letter that you might or might not be chosen. I'm thinking, okay, I don't understand this. So when we got there, we find out that They're, they were going to do this. This time it was going to be all about the state. It was going to be a state show because Biggest Loser had gotten a lot of flack. You know, they only had 14 people on the ranch. They gotten a lot of flack for people saying these crazy diets they were on. They were like anybody can lose weight if they're on a ranch. People are picking out their meals, everything. So they had the bright idea. This time, here's what they were going to do. They were going to pick 50 people, one person that represented every state. Okay? And 36 of those people were going to do it at home. And 14 of those people would do it on the ranch. Now, all of us who came, so I was the representative for North Carolina. So all of the people that came wanted to be on the ranch because they felt like the ranch was where it was at. The trainers were going to be there. That's where all the tools would be. Everything would be on the ranch. That's where the television cameras are. And so we figured we would have a better shot to win the money if we were on the ranch. All right? So I never forget the day they built it up. Like we build it up, and they said, we're going to pick the people live to be on the ranch. And so we all stood in line. And I never forget. So the trainers called out the people. And they said, okay, the Oklahoma representative, come on down. I don't think he was in it. No. California, come on down. I never forget California. Texas, come on down. And so I'm thinking to myself, damn, call my name. Call my name. I know I'll be a good representative. So at the end, 14 people were chosen. I wasn't one of them. And y'all, I was so distraught because I'm like, dang, everything that I want to do, everything that I wanted to do was on the ranch. Everything that I wanted to do. And I'm like, why did they invite us out here? The truth of the matter is, y'all, I was so despondent that I remember that it was big at this beautiful ranch. I never forget, I walked around the ranch during the time where they were doing interviews, and I called my wife, and I was in tears. And I never said, I thought about it. And I said, why would, I prayed about it. I said, why would God send me out here not to get chosen? It was a question I asked. I asked my wife that very question. And she said something to me that I will never forget. She said, the truth is, you're looking at it the wrong way. She said, you see it as adversity. God sees it as advantage. Oh, shoot! I'm getting chills thinking about it. So I walked around the ranch, and the more I thought about it, the more I began to take in these principles I'm going to teach you today. I started using the principles that I teach. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to turn this adversity into my advantage. Fast forward, y'all. Everybody came back to the ranch. I lost a lot of weight, 100 pounds, but I lost it at home. Here's where the advantage came in. All of the people who were on the ranch gained their weight back. See, what they didn't know, what we didn't know at the time was when we went home, I learned at home how to operate while I was working every day, how to plan my meals and work every day with my wife, my family. And I wasn't just on the ranch where they had to buy my own food. I had to learn how to read labels. On the ranch, they went and got the food for them. And till this day, many of them have had gastric bypass surgery even after they got back. Adversity to advantage. And so what I'm going to tell you today, everything God's got for you lies outside your comfort zone. Everything, y'all. If God's got it for you, because what we do is we ask God, God, I want a mate. I want the mate of my dreams. I want the person who's going to be with me. And then you meet somebody that pushes you, that makes you want to change, that makes you have to change the way you communicate, that makes you have to change the way you do things. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, they're not the right person. Yes, they are. Because everything God's got for you lies outside your comfort zone. Period. So, adversity to advantage. Now, to this day, I'm able to keep my weight down. I'm able to be healthy on no medication. None. Over 50 years old, no medication. When I went there, I was on tons of medication. That was 12, 13, 2006, y'all. But I realize now, everything adversity to advantage. So in your relationships, so this is what I want to do. I want to show you how to use your past relationships for your advantage. For your advantage. So here's what we're gonna do. First thing I want to tell you is this. Everything that you're doing or you've been through, everything that you've been through, it's a reason for it. Okay? So what I want you to do is think about this. Is I want you to understand there are 5 ways to use your relationship to your advantage. Y'all, you can do the same thing. So let me give you the 5 ways to do that because I've talked a lot. Number one, embrace how you feel. Embrace how you feel, y'all. First thing I want to tell you is don't deny your feelings. Do not deny them. Don't act like they're not there. You have to embrace how you feel. If you're hurt, you're hurt. You got hurt. If you want to cry, cry. Here's the thing. When you suppress your emotions, those emotions turn into something. They're going to come out some kind of way. What you have to do, if you feel anger, feel it. If you feel hurt, feel it. Feel it. Embrace the emotion you feel. Here's why you want to embrace the emotion. Number one, you want to embrace the emotion because you want to know what that feels like so that you can consciously identify, I don't want to be here again. So I'm going to do the necessary things I need to do, the necessary coaching I need to get, the necessary training I need to get, the necessary questions I need to ask so I'm not here again. Okay? Because I've done some things to get me here. You have to take 100% responsibility for what happened. Y'all, listen to me carefully. I'm going to get to that one in a second. But embrace how you feel. Okay? Don't try to hide it. Don't try to lower it. If you want to cry, damn it, cry. If you want to yell, yell. Whatever you want to do it because you have to release it. You got to release the emotions. You have to. Okay? Second thing is this. Take inventory of what you've learned, good or bad. Here's where people get it twisted. When I was at the ranch, when I was on The Biggest Loser, what I decided was I was going to take inventory of what I learned. Now let me tell you about something else. If you're in a relationship and you're not willing to look at what I've learned, let me take inventory of what I learned, good and bad. Because people are in relationships and what they do is they focus so much on the other person did me wrong. They focus so much on now here's how I feel. Where they're not willing to look at what I've learned. So get this. If I've learned, number one, the signs of when someone is cheating, if I've learned the signs of when someone is getting over, if I've learned that, then take inventory of that. Here's what I also learned. I also learned that when a person is withdrawing, what I need to do. If I also learned that, do I need to communicate more my feelings rather than hold them inside? You have to be willing to look at what you've learned because see, what you've learned, that's the stuff you're going to take to make you better. And sometimes and the truth of the matter is, sometimes we have to pay for this education. Sometimes we got to pay for the education. Sometimes when you're in school, you pay for the education. And sometimes it doesn't feel good at all. And so you have to be willing to pay for the education. If you're not willing to look at what you've learned, and here's the part of that makes sense, is if I can say, all right, I've learned this, this, and this, then now I can be better. And so that helps you. Good and bad, y'all. Take inventory of what you've learned. Number three says, be willing to identify the things you can improve upon. I know a lot of times we want to blame others for our relationships. And a lot of times others are at fault. But the truth is no one in a relationship is 100% at fault. There are things, this is where I tell people, take 100% responsibility for what you did in a relationship. Take 100% responsibility. Even though the person may have cheated on you, here's the thing. Your actions, your behavior, you got in the relationship. Don't absolve yourself of it. That you have to take responsibility for your actions. Your actions, you accepted the person. Your actions that you did this, you did that. Nobody's perfect in a relationship. No one. So what I want you to do is look at it objectively and say, here's what I need to improve upon to be better for the next person. It says identify and try. I love that. Identify and try. Because what I want to do is identify what I can do better, and then I'm going to implement it. Because here's the thing, if you're not willing to improve, that means that you're going to bring the exact same person to the next relationship. All right? And the common denominator is you. Is you. And so you have to be willing to become a better version of yourself. If you are unwilling to become a better version of yourself, then you're going to keep getting what you got. Period. Period. That's it. Number 4, mm, be willing to ask better questions. I think Tony Robbins was the one that said this. He said, the quality of your life will directly depend on the quality of questions you're willing to ask. I agree to that. I agree with that. I asked myself a question when I went to The Biggest Loser. I asked myself 3 questions actually. Number 1 was, how can I lose 100 pounds? Number 2, how can I keep it off? And number 3, how can I inspire people in the process? And once you ask those questions, your reticular activating system of your brain is going to help you find the answers. And those are the things that I did. That's what I did, y'all. I began to find the answer. So that led me to The Biggest Loser. That led me to, because remember, I said, number 1, how can I lose the weight? 100 pounds, I was very specific. Number 2, how can I keep it off? All right, keep it off. They said, remember, I said, the second question was, how can I keep it off? That's why I had to go home, y'all, because it was the answer to my desire. I didn't see it as that. The reason I had to go home, the reason I had to be a part of the 36 that went home, is because I said it myself. I said, how can I keep it off? I could only learn how to keep it off at home. That's powerful. And the third thing was, how can I inspire people in the process? And the way I've been able to inspire people over the years is because I did it at home. Not because I was on the show, but because I could tell them, here's how you do this at home. Here's how you do this with children. Here's how you do this with your kids eating snacks and you have to eat something healthy. Here's how you do it when you go out to eat. Here's how you order from the menu. Here's how you do grocery shopping, meal prepping. All of those things I learned because I was at home. Adversity to advantage. And then the last thing is, you want to turn adversity to your advantage? You find help. You engage with others who can help you when you feel stuck. People like me, people like Milani, Shani, my partner, my business partner, who's great at what she does. If you know there's some healing that needs to take place in your life, go with someone that guides you through this process. I want to give you this last story, and I'm going to go, and I want to talk about the last couple of minutes that I got. I want to talk about what you can do. A coaching client of mine and I told this story because I'm so proud of her. 3 months ago, no, actually 4 months ago, she called me. Well, she inboxed me, and she said, I am tired of feeling the way that I feel. And I simply said to her, I said, okay, are you willing to change? Are you ready to change? I said, because my wife often says this, people want to change, but people don't want to make change. Everybody wants to change, but nobody wants to make change. And what she means is, very few people are willing to do the work to change. And so she said, I'm willing to do the work. Fast forward, y'all. So we're 4 or 5 months into it, and 4 or 5 months into it, she has met the guy that she loves. Because before, she would just discard people whenever anything appeared like it appeared before. But we worked through it, and she accepted with the guy that somebody was willing to love her for her. I'm so proud of her. She's moved down there with him. He asked her to move down there. They worked through problems. I've coached both of them. And y'all, I can do that for you. Along with Milani, we both can do that for you. All right, y'all, that's it. Use your adversity to your advantage. Everything in life, even adversity, there is an advantage in it. There's an equal and opposite opportunity. All right, y'all. I'm Ken Canion, the host of Love, Lust, and Lies. And that's my time for today. Have a great day. I'm out.